What's up, nail geeks? I am back with Hella Handmade Creations July 2021 polishes to show you guys. I have several of them that are available right now for pre-order, so let's dive right into the swatches. First up is by Danny Viana, the Great Rasputin. This is described as a maroon curly base filled with a mix of green Aurora shimmer. This is part of her Anastasia series. This is the first polish in that set. This one is 13 and there's a cap of 150 bottles. So straight up, this actually reminds me of a candy apple if that was made into a polish. I think this is totally giving me those vibes. Of course, it's overcast right now and I'm feeling the fall vibes, or maybe I'm just wishing for fall. But I digress. So this has a creamy, wonderful formula to it. It's got a touch of a crelly lean to it. And for opacity, I'm going to suggest between 2 and 3 coats. I stopped at 2 coats and I thought it plumped up really well. Looking back, if I went up to a 3rd coat, I could definitely see how that base color is going to deepen out, which is very characteristic of a crelly, somewhat jelly-like, but it does apply very creamy. This dries down flat, so I'm going to suggest a glossy top coat. And next is Cupcake Polish Imagination. This is described as a hot pink jelly polish filled with silver holographic flakes. This is part of her Dolly Parton series. Price is $13 and there is no cap. So this is such a pretty, beautiful, flattering type of pink. This is the shade of pink that I really enjoy. It's quite a bit Barbie-like. It's quite hot in person as well, and it's absolutely lovely. Now this is packed full of these holographic flakes, which as you can see from the video are quite a bit on the smaller size, but this has a ton of them. So you'll get a very dense scattering across your nails. This dries down semi-flat. I honestly feel like any top coat's going to be perfectly fine with it. Now for opacity, this is really going to depend on the prominence of your free edge. So if you have a really bright sort of free edge like myself, I think you might want to go ahead and go up to that 3rd coat. Now, in very, very bright lights, like what you're seeing on the video here, you can see a touch of my smile line. In person after this 3rd coat, I really didn't think it was very noticeable. And finishing off with a glossy top coat, you can see it's got this gorgeous sort of scattered effect. And it's just one of those hot pinks that is hot pink, but in person, it does have a bit of a cooler sort of lean to it. And next is Different Dimension. He's Not the Sun, You Are. This is described as a raspberry jelly loaded with orange to green to gold Aurora shimmer and hollow micro flakes. This is part of her Grey's Anatomy series. Price is $12 and there is no cap. So the formula on this is rich, dense, and smooth. It is so satisfying on those brush strokes. I think for the most part, most are going to be perfect at 2 coats for opacity. You can see on the 2nd coat here, it is just performing so well. This is very shimmery in person. There's a ton of depth to check out. At angles, this has an easy shift over to a greenish goldish shade, so quite a bit of a shifty factor if you are in shaded lighting. Otherwise, in indoor lighting, you'll have that nice coppery sort of appearance. This dries down flat, so again, I'm going to suggest a glossy top coat. And Femme Fatale brings us Butterfingers. This is described as an orange when warm to brown when cold thermal, filled with golden sparks, soft golden micro flakes, and accented with black matte glitters in smaller sizes. This is part of their candy series. Price is $14 and there is no cap. So this has a very crelly formula to it. It is very smooth and easy to build to opacity. And as you can see between that 1st and 2nd coat, the thermal transition is very obvious, very sensitive and easy to shift. Definitely makes me want a Butterfinger if I'm completely honest. There is a strong, lovely, true gold sort of fleck appearance. You can kind of see it here after I went in with that glossy top coat. I think 2 coats is going to be perfect for most. And going in with the ice water shot here, you can see, again, this is one of those thermals that has a very strong contrast between the warm and the cold state. And next is Girly Bits Flower Pot Rocks. This is a pale blue with strong pink to gold shifting shimmer and scattered holographic flakes. This is part of the Canadian Road Trip series. Price is $13.50 and there's a cap of 300 bottles. So I really, really liked this one. I actually got this obviously as PR since I'm showing it to you guys, but I saw the first swatches of it and I was like, oh, well, I'm going to grab that one anyway, but I got to review it. So super thankful there. This is very pretty, and this is, yeah, absolutely, I would have picked this one up. It's got a somewhat jelly sort of formula to it, so I'm going to suggest going in for 3 coats. It's got a strong sort of holographic effect that gives you this nice dense sort of appearance, but my favorite thing about this is the shimmer is quite strong. So I think my full hand shot here is very indicative to what I'm seeing in person. It's very pretty, and at angles shifts over to this lovely gold. And Hearts and Promises brings us Let It Go. This is a purple leaning red hollow base with blue multichrome shimmer. This is part of her Broadway musicals series. Price is $12.50 and there is a cap of 200 bottles. So the formula on this one is quite jelly, and I'm going to suggest going up to 3 coats on it for full coverage. When you finish off with the 3rd coat, as you'll see here in just a moment, it vamps up really well and the shimmer is very strong. So in indoor and bright lights, you're going to see this lovely blue cast across that nice plummy sort of base, and at angles it has this really strong sort of reddish glow in terms of like the shimmer going to this really extreme color roll. Really pretty. I think my swatches, you're able to see that shiftiness, that glowiness that you'll see at angles, and again, I think 3 coats is really going to make this one pop the best. Particles in this one are very fine particle, and I would describe this one as being more of a somewhat dense, scattered sort of hollow. This dries down quite flat, so you're going to want to finish with a good glossy top coat just to give it that nice plump sort of effect and really exploit that shifty factor. And Indie by Patty Lopez brings us Pink Beach. This is described as a pink base with aurora shimmer and a mix of flakes. This is part of her landscape series. Price is $12, and there's a cap of 100 bottles. So this is another one that I really liked. I super enjoyed how in person the shimmer pops really well. I think the video is giving you a really good idea of what it looks like against all the extra goodies here. The flakes, I also liked how this reminds me of like funfetti sort of thing. I guess I'm thinking about food, but it looks like lots of sprinkles and it's very colorful. And the base itself, I do agree, it's a very soft sort of pink. I stopped at 2 coats since this one has a strong squishy factor, and I felt like at a 3rd coat it was going to have that over buildup. So if you have a prominent free edge, I'd suggest wearing a color correcting base with this. And MLF Lacquer brings us Garden Butterflies. This is a green jelly base with rainbow crystal chameleon flakes, gold sparks, purple sparks, and silver hollow ultrafine glitters. This is part of her Butterfly series. Price is $11, and there is a cap of 100 bottles. So I do agree with the official description. Absolutely what I'd consider a true jelly base. This has a strong squish factor to it as well, and it builds very quickly. I think 2 coats is going to be perfect for most, unless of course you polish very thin, then I could absolutely see you needing to go in for a 3rd coat. This builds really well, and you can see that it's what I would consider a true sort of green. The gold sparks pop very well against it, and I'm going to suggest a good glossy top coat to finish off. And Nail Artisan Cosmetics brings us You're Breaking My Heart. This is described as a vivid lilac base adorned with a soft gold shimmer, part of her Star Wars series. Price is $13.50, and there's a cap of 150 bottles. So this is, honestly, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I'm shocked this one is still in stock in the HHC site right now. I personally think it's beautiful. It's a very popping base color, and the shimmer here is so strong. It's just lovely and so delicate. This is another one that I truly enjoyed wearing, and you can see on the 2nd coat here, wonderful formula. True, smooth, crelly sort of formula that's got this nice viscosity to it and just builds up very well. Now this dries down flat, so you're seeing a glossy top coat once again on my full hand shot. And next is Night Owl Lacquer Nadra. This is described as a bright aqua with blue to purple shimmer filled with green to blue to purple and purple to blue to green crystal chameleon flakes. This is the final polish in her Breath of the Wild series. Super sad, but it's been a wonderful one. This is $13 and there is no cap. So this is definitely a fun way to finish off her series. honestly, I really truly enjoyed it. Wonderful jelly here. This has a strong glowy effect from all of the flakes, and the base color is one of my favorite sort of colors. Speaking of, I have a surprise to show you guys from Night Owl that I'm just dying to show you guys, but no spoilers there. I'm going to suggest going in between 2 and 3 coats depending on how you polish, and it does have a strong squish factor, so I suggest going in light on your coats and finishing off with a glossy top coat. And next is Pampered Polishes, the Belters. This is a deep teal jelly full of an assortment of white glitters, creating an all-in-one jelly sandwich effect. This is the final polish in her Bob's Burgers series. Price is $12 and there is no cap. So this has what I consider a true, smooth, very jelly formula, and it's wonderful when you finish off with a glossy top coat, giving you that wonderful, juicy sort of effect. I kind of went in a little less clean than what I normally do, just so that I can kind of spread those glitters across my nails, as the formula does have a very strong viscosity, thickness to it. So I just found that going in kind of ham and letting it spread like that, in my opinion, kind of worked the best with this one. Obviously, I had no issues with staining or anything. It cleans up very well from your cuticles. So the glitters absolutely give you a strong pond effect, and I had no issues in terms of fishing or anything like that. Now I'm going to suggest going in with a thin layer of a glitter smoothing top coat underneath your glossy top coat. A glossy top coat will smooth everything out, but this one is a touch thirsty in how it dries down. And Pretty Beautiful Unlimited brings us Glow Light. This is an orange jelly base with a mix of 2 crystal chameleon flakes, micro hollow gold glitters, and glow in the dark pigment that glows highlighter yellow when charged with a UV light. This is part of her Cosmic Bowling series, price is $12, and there's a cap of 150 bottles. So this one's another one that definitely has me wishing for fall. I guess it's just that time of year again, back to school's coming up and all that good stuff. And this is what I would consider a true orange, very much on the pumpkin side. Lots of pretty flakes in this that just complement it really well. I like the contrast between gold and pink here. This has a very squishy formula, so I'm going to suggest going in light on your coats, especially if you want to take it up to 3 coats, but I think 2 normal coats is perfect for it. And here you can see how it looks in the dark. And Owl Lacquer brings us Trident. This is a teal green crelly with gold to green color shifting flakes and gold metallic flakes. This is part of her Little Mermaid series. Price is $13 and there is no cap. So this has a very crelly, but I'm going to say kind of flirting with being more of a creamy sort of feel and application. It is very smooth and plumps up very well on the second coat. I think 2 coats is going to be perfect for most, and as you can see, the flaky payoff. I think Rogue is I'm just going to dub her the queen of flakes at this point. I mean, she does them so well, and this is lovely. Now, I do agree with the official description that the base is a teal green. I think it does have a tendency to lean just a touch on the emerald side, like what you're seeing on my full hand shot here. I think it's going to depend on how many coats you wear, if I'm honest. I would also suggest finishing off with a glossy top coat. Now, the pre-order is currently going on now through July 21st at 11:59 p.m. Hawaiian time. You can check out these and many more on the HHC site. Again, quite a few of these, as you saw from the video, have a cap on them, so I wouldn't wait. If I'm completely honest with you guys, I will link that below for you guys to check out, and the Facebook fan group if you'd like to see swatches of additional goodies that are not included in this video. There's a lot to see here. So I'll break all of this down in the information box below, and as always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.